Hi, it's me, Jo. So I can't remember if I said this in last week's video or one of the videos previous to that, but I said something to the effect that nothing shocked me anymore when it came to crimes related to sexual trauma. Now, when I made that comment, I didn't mean it as a hold my beer moment to the universe. It was not meant as a challenge. And yet here I sit this week, utterly shocked at something that has occurred. So in Ontario, in Niagara to be specific, Justice Richard Blouin, a sitting judge, convicted a man of sexual assault and sentenced him to 18 months house arrest. So on its surface, nothing overly shocking other than the fact that house arrest should never be an option when it comes to crimes related to sexual trauma. What is shocking in this case is that the predator, the convict, the felon, pled guilty to 11 counts of sexual assault and was given only 18 months of house arrest by Justice Richard Blouin. When Justice Richard Blouin handed down his sentence, he cited this defendant's 28-year history of public service to the Niagara region as a police officer, and the fact that police officers don't do well in prison as the reason for handing down the 18-month sentence. Crown Counsel had asked for or recommended a 4-year prison term, which Justice Richard Blouin rejected outright, and handed this man instead an 18-month house arrest. Now, this former police officer had been running a business illegally out of his home under an assumed name, with the premise that he would be providing massage therapy without being a licensed masseuse. And the result is that 11 women were sexually assaulted. And the judge, instead of holding this person, this former police officer, to a higher standard and giving him a more severe punishment, chose instead to do the opposite. And so the message that Justice Richard Blouin has sent to every organization and institution out there across our nation is that it's okay if you sexually assault, because the law is on your side. Your sentence will not be severe, and this will not destroy you for the rest of your lives. Unlike, of course, your victims, whose lives have been irrevocably changed. And Justice Richard Blouin even commiserated with the 11 victims before he handed down this non-sentence of 18 months of house arrest. At a minimum, Justice Richard Blouin should be under judicial review. At a minimum. I think this man should be removed from the bench for what he has done. He has set back what we are trying to achieve by ending this epidemic. He has set it back by decades with this one decision. It is my belief that any of us that offer our lives in service to our country, to our province, to our communities, should be held to a higher standard. We are the figures of authority to the regular citizens of this country. And so the standard we should be held to should be significantly higher than the regular citizens. At the end of the day, when it comes to sexual assault, the punishment should equal the crime. And in the case in Niagara, Justice Blouin denied justice by not providing a sentence equal to the crime. 11 counts of sexual assault. This man pled guilty to them all, and 18 months of house arrest was the end result. Now, additionally, the RCMP are currently investigating cases of historical sexual assault at the Nova Scotia Youth Correctional Facility in Waterville, Nova Scotia. And current estimates are anywhere between 70 and 200 cases over the past 3 decades. Although if I was a betting person, I would bet that the number is significantly higher. All of this to say that when it comes to crimes related to sexual assault or sexual traumatization, it is all shocking and none of it is okay. And when lawmakers or law upholders like Justice Richard Blouin decide in favor of the perpetrators instead of the victims, then the system is broken and it needs to be replaced. Maybe it's beyond repair. Maybe we need to start from scratch. So to you, Mr. Prime Minister, and to you, Mr. Justice Minister, I don't know what it's going to take for you to see that we have a problem, that we have an epidemic that needs to be addressed, and the time to address it is right now. And if you, especially the two of you, cannot see this, perhaps it's time to replace both of you. When it comes to crimes of sexual traumatization, there is no gray area. It is right or wrong. It is wrong to commit the crime, and it is right to punish the crime. And when the person who commits the crime is someone that we should have trust in as citizens of the country, that crime, that punishment should be even more severe. And unless or until we are willing to sit down and have the discussion, nothing is going to change. The time is now for us all to stand together. Every institution and organization that I call out every week, all of us. It is time for us all to work together to effect positive change. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not welcome in my Canada. I thank you for your time. Have a good day.